Hello and welcome to another Hallowed Caesar review. Today I'm reviewing Lords of Waterdeep, a board game brought to us by Wizards of the Coast. It is a game for 2 to 5 players, a worker placement game that is themed in the Dungeons and Dragons world. And I know what you're all thinking. I know Dungeons and Dragons, if you haven't heard of this game before, the Dungeons and Dragons would either turn you right onto the game or turn you right away from it. I have to admit I have never played an RPG role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons, for example. And so I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. I did hear a lot of really good things about the game, so I was excited to open it up and try it out. And I really enjoy this game. So let's go ahead and take a look at the components. I have it kind of set up here for a 2-player game, and I want to really just show you some of the components before we get started. The box, the quality of the box is really nice. When you have it on the game, you'll notice it doesn't quite close all the way. That's kind of an artistic thing. It's meant to do that, but it's really cool. And inside, I really love the this insert here. A lot of the inserts, sometimes you run into a lot of different issues, components not fitting, or there's just too much space. I mean, this is really specialized. It fits everything perfectly in here to the T. Also, it's really easy. You have these little pieces. You just push down, it pops right out. It has these little, I don't know if you can really see that, but these little divots that allow you to get the components out very easily. So if you have a stack of cards here, for example, it could be hard to get them out. You just push down on one end and kind of like a teeter-totter, and you can pull them out. So the quality of all these little tokens, the building tiles, they're really nice. I don't see any issues with a lot of cardboard tile games like this. You'll see warping and everything, but I think these are just really nice quality. You aren't going to encounter that. The painted cubes, really are very well done. There isn't paint messing or anything like that. And there is quite a bit to the game. You have these resource cubes, if you want to call them that. They represent different things, actually: wizards, rogues, fighters, and clerics. You have some money tokens, which have a little hole in them, which are kind of cool. That's worth 1 coin, and then the 5 coins are these moon-shaped ones. Then of course you have the meeples, or the workers, or agents as they call them in this game. You have starter tokens, the cards, a really nice quality. You can kind of see the vinyl type finish on those. Really nice to shuffle. They're just really good quality game here. So if you also look at the rule books are also very important to me. The layout of those, making sure that they have enough instruction, a lot of visual things as well. You can see that it points out the different things for setup. And there's all sorts of illustrations throughout, and they're well placed. And then there's summaries that go in a little more detail on the building tiles and the spaces on the board. You also have, which is pretty cool, this storage diagram, because if you don't know where everything goes, you might not understand how it works. But the storage diagram will show you exactly where everything goes, and after that first time, you'll get the hang of it. You'll know what to do. And then on the back you have a rules reference, quick reference. So I really enjoy games that have this too. You know, you haven't played it in a little while, just need to come to this pretty much and a quick refresher and you're good to go. Okay, so let me just show you just quickly the general concept of the game, some of the things. I won't go over all the rules, and I'll talk about some of the things that I really enjoy, other than of course the amazing components that I've already talked about. So everyone will choose one of these playing boards. I will say my least favorite of the components are these little faction sheets, if you will. They're more of the kind of cardstock type paper. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess, you know, it would have been cool if these were little boards or something made out of the same building type tiles. You know, they are large, you know, and I'm sure that's kind of a price point issue. But and it's not a huge issue, but like I said, I really love the components, but this is the one part that I just found a little bit lacking. So you have the red sashes, and over here are set up with the silver stars. Okay. And at the beginning of the game, each person will begin with 2 quests, 2 intrigue cards, and a secret Lord of Waterdeep card. And if you look at the card, it really just kind of gives you another goal for the game. So at the end of the game, you score 4 points, victory points for each Arcana quest and each Piety quest you completed. Okay, so during the game, I'm going to be a little more prone to actually take any of the Arcana quests and Piety quests, because that will give me a bonus 4 points for each of those at the end of the game. And let's look at my opponent. Here has most of them are based on the quest cards and the type. You'll notice I said Arcana and Piety in the top left here. This is a Piety quest that I have as an option, and so that you'll notice they're different color coded and everything up in that corner. This one is a little bit different on how the bonus is. She actually, at the end of the game, you score 6 bonus points for each building you control. And that one's a little bit different. So, the setup of the game is fairly quick. You're just pulling out all the things, shuffling cards, dealing out the quest and intrigue cards, the Lord of Waterdeep cards. Pull out 3 buildings, place them here. The game is going to take place in 8 rounds, signified here. And at the beginning of the round, you'll take a victory point and place them on each of the buildings that are currently in the Builder's Hall. So it will show you're on round 1, and whoever is going to start will have the starting token. And but that's pretty much all the setup there is. You're going to shuffle up quest cards, deal out 4 to the Cliffwatch Inn, and you're good to go. And so on your turn, it's going to be different amount of agents of whatever player game, how many players you're playing with. 4-player game, you're going to start with 4 agents, and you go back and forth and take an agent, place it in a location, and take that action associated with it. So you'll see here, if I place a person here, I can get a wizard, I can get 2 fighters, okay, 2 rogues, and a cleric, etc. Okay, the Builder's Hall, you go to the buildings, you choose 1 building and pay its cost, which is shown up in the upper left hand corner. And that, when you buy a building, you get any victory points here, and you got the normal scoring tracker on the outside, and you would be able to move your person 1 victory point for building this building, spending 2 coins to do so, and placing it in one of the 9 openings. You'll see openings for buildings here. Okay. So you place it anywhere here. The location really isn't important. and then you place one of your faction's symbols in this little corner. That signifies that this is the building that you own. Now later on in the game, people can utilize this building as an action, and you can use it yourself or others. And you just have to spend 2 coins, and you get 4 different people. In this case, you have to be either fighters or rogues. And but if someone else chooses to utilize this building, I actually, as the owner of the building, would get 2 coins. Okay, and that really takes kind of an interesting side of the game, and I really like kind of that balance, because a lot of times you will be looking at the board, all the other actions are taken. You really need some fighters or rogues or something, but you don't really want to help the other person out. So do they need money? Or if they're in an abundance of money, then I'm not going to really care, and I'm going to put a guy there. But if they're really struggling for money, I may not want to do that and give them money. So it introduces kind of a cool concept to the game. Alright, so we have the Builder's Hall here. Now let's go up to the quests. Since the game is centered around quests, you can put a guy here. You'd be able to get a quest into gold, a quest and an intrigue card, or you can swipe all of these 4, draw new 4 quests, put them out, and choose a quest then. The intrigue cards are down here. They represent either mandatory quests that you can assign to people, and basically what that does is the opponent must perform this mandatory quest and complete it before they can go on to complete their other quests. The other thing that the intrigue cards introduce are attacks and different things like that. So this one here, I play it and I get pay 2 gold and choose an action space containing an opponent's agent, and you can utilize that space's action as though you had assigned a person to it as well. So some really beneficial things there. And to play an intrigue card, you actually have to place a person down here in Waterdeep Harbor. You notice it will say play an intrigue card. If you place a person here, another person may come and play another person. Once all of the agents are assigned out to the board, let me place some on here. Then from that point, you'll actually go to Waterdeep Harbor, and in order of how these are played, these agents get to take another action. So red would be able to move this to somewhere else, and then blue would go ahead, take a quest card, whatnot, and move around the board that way. Once all the agents have been assigned, the turn or round is complete, and that's basically how the game flows. And now during the game, on each turn that you're moving an agent, placing an agent, you can complete a quest if you are able to do so. For example, again, my Lord of Waterdeep gets 4 bonus points for every completed piety quest. I started with this quest, and so if I have 2 clerics and a fighter and 2 gold, I can go ahead and complete the Protect the House of Wonder quest. I would go ahead and get the reward then, which is 8 victory points. Now this is also a special quest. It's a plot quest, as you'll notice in the bottom left hand corner here, and that means that you'll keep this quest actually face up because it has an ongoing reward. Because whenever you complete a piety quest, you score 2 victory points. Okay, so this is kind of a double awesome quest for me, because completing it I get 8 victory points. Okay, but then I also will get 4 bonus victory points from my Lord secret goal, at the end of the game, and during the game I'll get an additional 2 victory points for each piety quest. So completing this quest, I will be looking to get more and more piety quests completed. Now there are warfare quests and skullduggery quests out. Okay, so if I wanted to get a quest, I would be taking this action here to swipe it to see if I can find any more piety quests. Alright, so without getting into any more of the deep rules or anything like that, the game flows really, really well. Okay, if there's a building that isn't maybe that appealing, each round you're going to be putting more of these out. They're going to be more desirable because they have victory points associated with them. After 5 rounds, after you go 5 rounds, you'll see you'll get another agent. Okay, there's going to be more buildings on the board, more spaces, and you'll have more guys to work with. Yeah, that's all the rules and everything. So again, really, really high quality components. The game plays really well with 2 players. I love games that can span from 2 players up to 5 players. Carcassonne was one of my favorite games, kind of introduced me to the gaming world a little bit more, and that one also 2 to 5 players going into it. The 2 to 4 players on a lot of games is very usual, but a lot of times it seems very limiting too, or 3 to 4 players, whereas in this, the 2 players works really, really well. I haven't really talked with many people who've played this with only 2 players who hasn't really enjoyed the 2-player version, but it plays really well with more players as well. So the quests and everything, the theme as far as the Dungeons and Dragons, it's not an overwhelming theme, but everything really fits well. It really does feel like you're going out on all these quests. The intrigue cards, you're really messing with people. It's really, really well done. The game length about an hour long, so it's kind of that perfect sweet spot for me and for most of the people that I play with. So it's a great length, and there's a lot of variations too, because you see this is a big stack of quest cards. Okay, you aren't going to get through all of the quest cards, and there's only 9 spots for buildings. You shuffle these up each time, and you're going to see different combinations of buildings each time. You have the different lords, so that you'll have kind of a different goal to work towards each time. So there's a lot of variation to it as well. Now there is an expansion out to this game as well. I haven't had the opportunity to check it out yet, but I sure hope that I have the opportunity to do so. But this is a very highly recommend this game. The components and the flow of the game and the variation, there doesn't seem like there's a whole lot that I can say bad about this game. So go ahead and check it out. Lords of Waterdeep.